All right. Welcome everybody. My name is Ann Schrader. I'm one of the facilitators at Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group. I will be facilitating this event tonight. This is the community support group, the second Thursday of the month. And we welcome anybody who's listening in and anybody who is listening to the recording as well. I'm excited about this because I'm very interested in learning from Kiyomi Koike. I'm going to say that a few times because I need to practice that. It's very good for my mouth to be moving that way.
You're doing well.
And thank you. All right, so let's see. So I want to welcome the first timers, the returning members, and I also want to recognize the Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group team, Paul Chatwin, founder of PBNSG. And he's also the face of this with an amazing inspirational story of going from nearly dying to strong, vibrant, healthy through a whole food plant-based lifestyle. I also want to thank our amazing team of specialized hosts who each lead their own monthly support group meetings through our membership platform. As Paul Chatlin likes to say, we are together as one, and we have the same passion towards helping others find success in this plant-based lifestyle. My name is Ann Schrader. I'm one of the facilitators. I actually am just now trying to change my title of my group to Simple Starts, Beginner Plant-Based Cooking. And I've been whole food plant-based for over 9 years now. I'm a cardiovascular nurse, diabetic care education specialist. I'm also board certified as a health coach. My business is simplywelllifecoaching.com. And I chose to teach this really to the patients that I was having. As a result, lo and behold, I was 20 pounds overweight. I was on 4 medications. I'm off all of those, like within months, I was off all of them. And I've been just sharing how you can reverse and stop, heal, and reverse chronic disease rather than symptom management, which is what I was doing before. And that's why I do coaching, because I want to share the wisdom with anybody who's willing to listen. All right. Let's see. Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group is a nonprofit organization dedicated to evidence-based education and advocacy for plant-based whole foods nutrition to help individuals prevent and reverse chronic disease and achieve optimal health. And of course, we know that there's other reasons, ethical reasons, and to help save our planet. It's just a mutual thing that I believe the whole world should be doing. But as a bonus, we actually can heal ourselves as well. So as attendees, let's see, PBNSG, you can have become a member if you're not already, which gives you access to live virtual events, cooking demos, support group meetings, and more. So please pass this information along to your family and friends. Let's just share to everybody. Let's see, we have a no whole foods, no oil, plant-based coaching option as well. And we also have a cookbook from PBNSG. Let's see, where you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I think this might be old. There might be another platform that we're utilizing as well by now. And don't forget the free monthly virtual support group meetings, which is what we're doing today. Register for this monthly meeting can be found at pbnsg.org under the support groups. Let's see. I want to introduce the feature presenter tonight. And she, let's see. I just want to say it again. Kiyomi Koike. All right, then I'm going to let you know about who she is, and then she's going to take it away. She's got about a 40-minute presentation. We'll have about 10 minutes of Q&A at the end, and we'll go from there. I'll be looking in the chat box, so please put any of your questions into the chat box. I will read them off at the end just for time's sake, but if you have any others, certainly you can ask them as well. All right, now, who is this lovely lady? I'm gonna read it. I'm just gonna read it all. All right. She's originally from Japan. She met her American husband when she came to the United States to pursue a teaching English to speakers of other languages certificate. She taught English at high schools in Japan for 6 years, believing that English proficiency could offer opportunities for young people in her homeland. So she married and relocated to Oregon. Yes, she lives in Oregon now, the state. She's my neighbor. I'm in Idaho and she's in Oregon, so I think that's pretty cool. After the birth of her second child, her father became ill with lung disease back in Japan. I'm sorry, lung cancer back in Japan, while her husband was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer here in Oregon. The shock and depression deeply affected her, but her resilience was ignited by encouragement from her 2-year-old. Despite her father's passing 7 months later, she delved into green tea research to assist her husband, eventually leading to the establishment of Semi Tea, which is now known as UT Company. Did I say that right?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you'll correct me, I'm sure, when you do it. And it's a very successful venture. Let's see. She will go into some of the other things that she has in addition to a kominka, and I forgot to ask you if I pronounced that right. Okay, which is a
That's correct.
traditional
Yeah.
Japanese folk house. It's in the northeast corner of Oregon as a serene vacation destination for retreats and self-reflection. Ooh, I might have to go visit. You're not that far away. All right, so with that, I will have you go ahead and share. And let's see, one more thing. So this is the topic on the depth analysis of green tea. And she's going to talk about it being a whole food. Ooh, I hope I didn't give it away, but I think that's very exciting. She's going to deep dive into everything you need to know about the best ways to heal with green tea, loose leaf and ground versus ground, which and which varieties have the highest rating, healing compounds, antioxidants, how to compare them and intake them. So hold on, get your notes, pencils ready. Take it away, Kiyomi.
Well, thank you so much, Anne. You covered a lot. I don't have to say anything anymore. No, just kidding. Okay. So thank you so much for having me today. And my name is Kiyomi Koike, and I am going to share a PowerPoint presentation with you. And I'm going to cover a lot for 40 minutes. So hopefully you're going to take notes. And if you have questions, please feel free to jot down in the chat. And then Anne is going to ask the questions for you guys. And I'm going to be happy to answer any questions. So I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, and if I haven't said it already, everybody please mute yourself and your phones.
Okay, so I'm going to share this. Okay, everybody seeing it okay? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Now, so I'd like to talk about the truth of healing properties of green tea. Now you learn a lot today, and hopefully you're gonna get something new. And especially toward the end of this presentation, I'm going to share something important, and hopefully that's going to be good information for you too. So before I jump in, please let me introduce myself. And my name is Kiyomi, and I was born and raised in Japan, and originally my marriage brought me to the US. And I am the founder of Semi Tea. Now it's called UTYUTEA. And U means excellence in Japanese and also friends and also serenity. So, and of course, it's the T for you, YOU, you guys. So that's why we picked the name UT. And my tea journey started in 2001 when my second baby was born. And she is in that baby in the picture, the baby in the picture. My parents were in Japan that time, and when I called them about the birth, my mother told me my father was critically ill and he had only 3 months of life left. I was shocked, especially because my father was unhappy about our international marriage, and I haven't talked to him for several years. I was feeling guilty and anxious about going to see him. And then about 1 month passed. One day when my husband came home and he told me he was diagnosed with cancer. First, I thought he was making a bad joke, but he wasn't. He went through more tests, and the tests showed the cancer had been already spread, and it was stage 3. We were told the survival chance was 50-50. I was left with my newborn baby and 2-year-old son alone at home. I thought I'd lose 2 most important men in my life at the same time. I was deeply depressed. I was scared. I was often crying. One day, I was sitting in a dining chair and sobbing with my newborn baby in my arms. My 2-year-old stood behind me and patted my shoulder gently and softly told me, "Mommy, it's okay. Mommy." That's when I decided to do whatever takes to heal my husband. The first thing I did was I bought 10 boxes of tea bag green tea at local Safeway. And I told him to drink 10 cups a day, brewing each cup fresh. He did it for the first day, the second day, and the third day. He looked at me and said, "Honey, I can't do this anymore. I'd rather die." I was completely shocked. And that made me more determined. I thought I needed to find a better tea, tastier, easier to prepare, and more potent tea. So I researched and looked for such kind of tea. And one of the teas I received from Japan caught my attention. It was Sencha powder, and it was organic. And it was powder, so easy to make. And my husband liked the taste. And because it's a powder form, more nutritious. I'm going to explain later. He liked it so much. So he started to drink 5 to 6 cups a day. He drank through his chemotherapy. He says it helped to ease the side effects. A few years passed, and we went to see his oncologist, Dr. Kaplan at Swedish Hospital in Seattle. He was one of the best oncologists in the county at that time, in the country at that time. He said, "Congratulations. You don't have to come back and see me anymore. You beat the odds." And he added, "And I did my own research about your tea and found something going on with that tea. Don't stop drinking your tea." My husband and I looked at each other and thought it's our responsibility to share this discovery. So this is how we started Semi Tea. Now, my husband is cancer-free for more than 2 decades. He thought he wouldn't live to see our baby's wedding. And this happened last year. He danced with her at her wedding. And new UT's website was launched just 1 week before the wedding. It was coincident, but it was truly like the beginning of a new chapter for us. So since 2001, when she was born, circumstances around green tea have drastically changed, and so much information is out there now. In this presentation, I'd like to focus on the myth and truth of green tea. Here is the basics of tea. Green tea, oolong tea, and black tea are made from a plant called Camellia sinensis. Camellia sinensis provides super potent antioxidants called catechins. Fermentation breaks down catechins. Black tea is fully fermented. Oolong tea is partially fermented. And green tea is not fermented at all. So green tea offers the highest amount of catechins. Catechins are polyphenols and flavonoids, super powerful antioxidants, 20 times more potent than vitamin E and 100 times more potent than vitamin C. EGCG is one of the most prominent subclasses of catechins. Catechins and EGCG are responsible for the long list of benefits of green tea, from detox to boosting immunity. Camellia sinensis, the plant, also offers more than catechins. It offers minerals and vitamins. However, when you brew the tea leaves, not all the nutrients come out into the tea water. The first brew gets only 10% of the nutrients. The rest stay in the leaves, no matter how hard you squeeze the leaves. That's why UT offers only powder tea. Now, there is a lot of information about tea out there, but unfortunately, not all the information is correct. The myth number one is matcha is the healthiest tea. Matcha and sencha are both authentic Japanese green tea. Now, you just saw potency means catechins, right? Super powerful antioxidants. Now, which tea contains more catechins?
Sencha.
Matcha is grown in shade and sencha is grown in full sun. The plant Camellia sinensis uses sunlight to create catechins by converting the natural substance called theanine. So when theanine comes out from the root and moved up to the tea leaves, and the catechins, theanine in the tea leaves get converted into catechins when they are exposed to sunlight. So sencha leaves contain more catechins than matcha naturally. Now, myth number two. The greener, the more potent. The green pigment in the leaves is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll converts the sunlight into the energy the plant uses to grow. When the plant is covered and deprived of the sunlight, like matcha, the plant increases the number of chlorophyll to catch up with loss of sunlight. So in this picture, shade-grown matcha has more bluish green rounds, which are chlorophyll. And as a result, the green color of the leaves of matcha shade grown tea becomes brighter and more intense green. Healthy, fresh, clean, good sencha is naturally yellowish green. So the green color means the amount of chlorophyll, not catechins. Myth number 3, the intense umami means more potent. I wonder if you have seen a comment like on Amazon. This matcha is the healthiest because it's not bitter at all. But is it true? In Japan, we have a saying, a good medicine tastes bitter. And unfortunately, that's the case with tea. Because catechins are bitter. On the other hand, theanine tastes sweet. In order to decrease the bitterness, catechins, the tea farmers started to shade the plants during the 15th century in Japan. That's the beginning of matcha. Sweet matcha is high in theanine. Sencha, on the other hand, tastes crisp and refreshing due to the high content of catechins. Myth number 4, the ceremonial grade is healthiest. Now you know what makes the sweet umami, theanine, right? The longer shading period is, the sweeter it becomes. That is ceremonial. So compared to culinary, ceremonial definitely tastes better, tastes sweeter, and it gives you better culinary experience, but not necessarily higher in catechins. Myth number 5, quality powder dissolves in water. Well, I think this is very simple thing to think about. Let's think about like spinach. Let's imagine you have a bunch of dried spinach and you grind it into a fine powder and mix it with water. Do you expect that dissolves? No, right? Spinach won't dissolve. Ground green tea leaves won't dissolve either. But that is the benefit of powdered tea, because you consume the whole tea leaves, you are consuming the whole leaves as whole food. As a whole food, the powder offers 100% of the nutrients. And green tea offers a lot of vitamins, minerals, in addition to antioxidants. Myth number 6, decaf tea is not as healthy as regular. This is true only if you brew the decaffeinated tea leaves and throw away the tea leaves. The brewed water is just colored water in this case, because water-soluble nutrients are already removed with caffeine. But this is not the case with our decaf sencha and decaf matcha, because there are 2 reasons. Number 1, we use a pure water process that removes caffeine effectively while retaining the maximum amount of catechins in the tea leaves. So this graph shows EGCG amount is retained all the time, but caffeine is drastically reduced. And the reason number 2, our tea provides whole tea leaves right? Because it's a powder form, ground up whole tea leaves. So the nutrients that didn't get eluted into the water still intact in the tea leaves. And even if you roughly soak the tea leaves and get the leaves out, as you saw, 90% of the nutrients are still intact. And because we use the very sophisticated method, the retention rate is higher than 90%. Myth number 7, high water temperature ruins catechins. Now, this is very interesting because somebody tested it. And this is the result of research. The researchers heated EGCG in a 340 degrees Fahrenheit oven and observed how EGCG breaks down. And the result, it didn't start to break down even it was heated for 40 minutes. So if you have bubbling hot water and hesitated to make tea, don't. Just make it and wait a little bit and then enjoy the tea. Now you have the truth, those 7 myths and truth. And I hope these facts give you peace of mind. If you have questions, once again, please jot them down in the chat and I'd like to answer them at the end of this presentation. So now let's shift the subject to benefits. So here are 5 ways that catechins support our health. And number 1 is pretty amazing. Catechins have the capability to create blood vessels or cut off the blood vessels, depending on the type of the cells. So if the cells are like cancerous or tumor, catechins suppresses the blood supply to those cells and inhibit growth and induce apoptosis, like programmed cell death. And for the healthy cells, catechins nurture them by forming healthy blood vessels. So it's just remarkable. And also catechins regenerate stem cells and create healthy cells. Catechins improve microbiome in gut flora, supporting the immunity, decreasing inflammation, and boosting up your mood. And catechins repair DNA, which is again amazing. And catechins boost the immune system. Actually, it repairs mitochondria too. So all in all, catechins reduce the causes of various diseases, free radicals, aging, germ, inflammation, and virus. On the other hand, green tea promotes many healthful activities. It promotes grounded energy, hormone balance, healthy metabolism, cognitive health, healthy immunity, blood flow, and insulin sensitivity. This is just one of the scientific studies. This is a comprehensive analysis of T-catechins and their impact on breast cancer, illustrating how they trigger a cascade of beneficial cellular responses. It highlights one example of how T-catechins interact with cancer cells to disrupt their growth. This image shows neurons in the brain surrounded by amyloid plaques, abnormal protein deposits that are linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. T-catechins, particularly EGCG, have been shown to prevent the formation of these plaques, break them down, and aid in detoxification. Amyloid also damages mitochondria, the energy centers of cells, but catechins help restore their function. Remarkably, catechins can even stimulate the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus, the brain's center for memory and emotion, supporting long-term memory and emotional well-being. Research confirms that catechins can cross the blood-brain barrier and that EGCG may enhance blood and oxygen flow to the brain, promoting cognitive health at multiple levels. The benefits of green tea seem endless, and here's one powerful reason. It protects and repairs telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps at the end of our DNA strands, much like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Just as frayed shoelaces stop working without those tips, our chromosomes become unstable and damaged without healthy telomeres. In a study of over 2,000 adults aged 65 and older, researchers found a strong link between green tea consumption and telomere length. Those who drank more than 3 cups a day had significantly longer telomeres than those who drank less than 1 cup. In fact, the difference in telomere lengths equated to roughly 5 additional years of biological aging advantage. Green tea provides a gentle boost of caffeine without the crash. That's because it also contains L-theanine, a natural relaxant that smooths out caffeine's effects, promoting calm alertness rather than jitterness. Even more impressively, studies show that EGCG, one of green tea's key catechins, can enhance 3 types of brain waves at once. I'm going to go back. Beta waves for focus and problem solving, alpha waves for relaxation, theta waves for deeply zoned in, often linked to creativity and meditation. This unique synergy makes green tea a true ally for mental clarity and emotional balance. And there's more. Research shows that each additional cup of green tea per day is linked to a 4% reduction in all-cause mortality. So, the biggest question people ask is, which tea is the best? And the honest answer is, it depends on your goal. For sustainable calm energy, matcha is your best choice. UT offers both regular and decaf organic matcha, and its signature round, sweet umami flavor is not just delicious, it's a sign of a high L-theanine content. L-theanine is the amino acid that promotes focused relaxation. Sencha is rich in catechins and EGCG, ideal for deep detox and cellular support. UT offers both regular and decaf organic sencha powder. And this is the tea that my husband drank while healing from cancer. He's drinking now both sencha and matcha depending on the time of the day. If you don't love the grassy taste of green tea, try hojicha. Hojicha is a roasted green tea with a warm, toasty flavor that's smooth and comforting, and catechin level is still high. If you crave something cozy and nutty, try genmaicha. That's the yellow one. It's a green tea blended with toasted brown rice. It's naturally low in caffeine, and in Japan, it's the popular tea to enjoy with meals. Now, let's talk about what truly sets high quality tea apart. Organic certification is important. And of course, all of the UT is certified organic. Conventional tea or non-organic tea, even in Japan, is often grown with chemical inputs, including herbicides like glyphosate, that is commonly known as Roundup. So choosing organic tea is important. However, even with the same organic standards, not all teas are created equal. The real difference lies in the expertise behind soil management. Thoughtfully cultivated soil nurtures healthy roots, nurturing it long roots, and healthy roots produce vibrant, nutrient-dense leaves. In Japanese tea farming, the most skilled growers treat the soil like a living ecosystem, feeding it with natural compost and rotating crops. This deep care translates directly into the quality of the tea in your cup. Here is a comparison of two tea plant cuttings. One was grown in a well-cared soil. The other one was grown in a depleted soil. Both were cut 2 weeks ago, but look at the remarkable difference. The one remains vibrant and green, full of life. The other one has almost lost all its leaves, showing signs of stress and depletion. Which would you choose? The tea that's full of life or the one that's barely holding on? Dr. Greger addresses the topic of lead contamination in tea. You can easily find this informative video by searching Dr. Greger, lead in green tea on Google. In this video, Dr. Greger explains that the country of origin is more important than organic certification when it comes to lead contamination, as organic status doesn't necessarily address this issue. With Chinese green tea, Dr. Greger advises not to consume more than 2 to 3 teaspoons per day due to the higher risk of lead exposure. However, with Japanese sourced tea, even consuming 15 teaspoons a day remains safe. And 15 teaspoons of tea makes 20 to 40 cups of UT. UT is matcha or sencha. But he recommends limiting to about 8 cups due to the caffeine intake. So UT is sourced from Japan with expert of soil management and certified organic. Now let's talk about how to get the most from the precious green tea you have chosen carefully. Research shows that your mental attitude plays a significant role in the healing process. When you approach your tea ritual with a mindful, positive mindset, you're not just drinking tea, you're engaging in a healing practice that amplifies its benefits. Research continues to pile up, revealing a fascinating connection. Patients with higher emotional well-being and peace of mind tend to show better treatment adherence and may even experience longer survival. And this research, a meta-analysis of 24 studies involving over 823,000 patients, found that the main predictors of survival were emotional and physical well-being, optimism, and vitality. The study suggests that fostering positive emotions in cancer patients and the general population could not only enhance quality of life, but also potentially increase survival. So it's a powerful reminder that nurturing emotional health is a key factor in overall well-being. Now, this realization was a turning point for me. So it inspired me to study and become a certified wellness coach and life coach. I've now been coaching individuals, patients, and professionals for almost 2 years. Ooh. Okay, so I don't know who that was, but please mute your microphone. Thank you. Now, I know life coaching might sound a little abstract, so let me explain. So unlike therapy or counseling, which often focus on unpacking the past and holding the same perspectives, those perspectives are your belief that leads to your decision making and actions. And that perspectives could be stigma that holds you back. So unlike therapy or counseling, I believe they bring a good outcome too. But the difference between that therapy and life coaching is life coaching is forward focused, helping you shift perspectives that align with your true desires, true self, rather than I want to do this, but my history, my experience says no. Rather than that, you're going to shift perspectives that align with your true desires so that you will make it happen. So life coaching will cultivate skills to create lasting transformation for a more fulfilling future. When you're facing uncertainty, life coaching challenges existing beliefs and introduces alternative perspectives, encouraging you to break through barriers. This mental and emotional state directly influences how your body responds. And a lot of studies are done. This study found that cancer patients who participated in a remotely delivered coaching program returned to work at a 12.8% higher rate than matched controls. This study found that this is a pioneering study, is the first one to evaluate how life coaching can foster post-traumatic growth and improve quality of life in breast cancer survivors by supporting their transition to post-treatment life through personalized, proactive, and empowering phone-based guidance. And it concludes, unlike traditional psychological services that focus on past trauma, life coaching helps individuals move forward by using practical tools and strategies. As a stigma-free and proactive approach, life coaching shows promise as a valuable addition to routine cancer survivorship care. And this one evaluated a 10-week virtual lifestyle management coaching intervention called Fearless, designed to help young breast cancer survivors reduce their fear of cancer recurrence. Results showed a statistically significant reduction in their fear and improvements in coping, self-love, and overall well-being. As a certified tea master and also life coach, I found that combining coaching with a daily tea ritual creates something extraordinary. When you drink tea with intention, visualize healing, and practice presence, you are actually engaging your nervous system that serves for your healing. So this slide shows two different networks that exist in your brain, our brain. And the left one shows when you are ruminating past or worrying about something. And that part in red is activated, and the part is called default mode network. On the other hand, when you are thinking about the better future, focusing on a better future and especially using the creativity, self-compassion, and genuine judgment-free curiosity. And then the different part of the brain gets activated. That is on the right-hand side. And that part is called task positive network. And when you are engaging that task, like even drinking, making a tea and drinking tea, utilizing the five senses, and then you are right there present, and your task positive network is activated. So this from the ruminating mode to forward thinking mode, the shift occurs. So here are two simple steps to transform your daily tea time into a healing tea ritual. The key to step one is to pay attention to just one of the five senses while enjoying your tea. So this is called tactile meditation or sensory meditation, and it's easier for you to focus rather than just regular meditation because you use a sense. But you have to pay attention to one sense. If you're paying attention to more than one, you're tasting the tea and also hearing something, that attention is kind of scattered. So it's important to focus one sense. So as you shift your attention from one sense to another, you use okay, let's pay attention to the color, and then next the texture, and then next to aroma, next to sound, and next to taste. And then even if you are doing 10 seconds each time, you get 50 seconds of that tactile meditation time. And it's a short meditation. However, please try this, and then you feel the effect. It definitely calms down the inner voice, which means your brain network got shifted from left-hand side to the right-hand side, as you saw it, okay, in that slide. So visual input brings so much information. So please close your eyes when you do this tactile meditation. It helps you. So that was the first step. And then the second step is visualization. And this is why. our minds, our brain cannot tell the difference between something we are imagining and something that's really happening. Isn't that fascinating? So visualize your healthy self. After treatment, what are you doing? Are you enjoying the fun outing with your family? Maybe playing with your children or grandchildren? So visualize those moments in as much detail as possible. So if you'd like a tea ritual guide, please email me at kiyomi@ut.com. I'll be happy to share the guide. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions is, when and how often should I drink? There are studies for everything. So the answer is first thing in the morning as part of your tea ritual, and then every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. And here's why. Okay, why first thing in the morning? So as the studies show, your morning actions set the tone for the entire day. A mindful tea ritual, for example, in the morning, can lower anxiety, boost motivation, and enhance cognitive performance. It also supports better sleep quality and helps reduce inflammation. A tea ritual creates moments of serenity that helps us reconnect with ourselves, others, and something greater than us. And here is one of the studies that shows the antioxidants in green tea metabolize quickly. So EGCG peaks in the blood within 1 to 2 hours after ingestion and fades rapidly. So in order to keep your body consistently replenished with fresh antioxidants, it's a good idea to drink green tea every 3 to 4 hours. And if you do that tea ritual every time, that would be even more powerful. You are strengthening the right-hand side of your brain. Well, it's, simplified explanation, but, the side you want to grow is getting strengthened. Okay, now here's the good news for you. As a member of PBNSG, you can have access to a special discount, which is 20% off, which is big. So please, please, please utilize it. And the link, if you get to the website using the link shown, ut.com/? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to give this to Anne so that Anne can put this up where you have access and copy and paste it to use to get the discount. Now, to wrap up my presentation, I'd like to invite you to come to my coaching website. I totally understand that cancer diagnosis or significant health challenge diagnosis can feel overwhelming and uncertain. As you heard me, I've been there and done that. However, I want to share with you how shifting your mindset and adopting forward-focused thinking can actually increase your odds of healing and thriving during this challenging time. And looking back, that's what my husband and I went through, experienced. When you are dealing with cancer, it's easy to become consumed by the fear or the worry of what the future might hold. These thoughts are natural. I don't want you to blame yourself for that because it's natural. And I can explain more if I have more time. But anyway, those worries, those fear, They can increase stress, weaken your immune system, and create emotional strain that impacts your body's ability to heal. But when you choose to embrace a forward-focused mindset, you're taking control of the one thing you can influence, the present moment. By focusing on what you can do today, whether it's managing your emotions, making choices that support your health, or finding joy and purpose even in small moments, you create a foundation for resilience. You literally, physically changing your brain too, as you saw it. This mindset shift not only helps reduce stress, but also supports your immune system and mental well-being, both of which are critical for recovery. And it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving, even in the face of challenges. If you are fighting cancer or fear of recurrence, working with a life coach might be something you might want to consider. With a coach, you focus on your strength, your resilience, and the meaningful steps that will help you move forward with hope, courage, and determination. If you'd like to find out more about my service, please email me, kiyomi@ut.com. Okay, that's it for my presentation. Okay, so thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you.
Oh, lovely. You can unmute now, everybody. That was amazing. So I learned so much more about tea than I ever thought I wanted to, but thank goodness we are learning about the amazing abilities of tea on our body. And just a lot of interesting facts. So I'll just leave it open to those that have questions. So right now there's nobody. So if there is anybody, you can either just speak up or raise your hand or type it in. Yeah, go ahead, James. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. I had placed it in the chat also, but this was a wonderful presentation. Thank you. It was very informative. And I was wondering, how should your tea be stored? And generally speaking, how long can it be stored before losing potency?
Right. That's a great question. Yeah, and simple answer is the best way is to avoid three things: air, sunlight, and heat. So please do not store tea, either leaves or powder, it doesn't matter, not in the mason jar. Because mason jar is clear and the sunlight comes in. So rather than that, ceramic, the container, or even just a tin container is better. And if your tea comes in a pouch, often, the tea comes in a pouch, right? And with a Ziploc top. And actually, that could be the best because you can squeeze the air out. The air has moisture in it. No matter how dehumidify a house or whatever, the moisture is in the air. That's why we can exist. So that moisture in the air is an enemy for the tea leaves and powder. So when you have pouch, just gently squeeze that air out and then close the Ziploc. And then keep that in a relatively cool pantry. If you know you do not open the pouch, if you do not use that pouch anymore, like in a few days, and then you could keep that in a fridge. But if you are using every day, especially 2 to 3 times a day, please do not keep that in the fridge. And here's why. Because refrigeration cools down the temperature of the leaves and the powder, and that temperature difference between the leaves or powder and room temperature creates the condensation immediately after you open the pouch. You don't see it. We don't see it. But the moisture gets on the surface of the leaves and the powder. So the temperature difference is also an powerful enemy that we want to avoid. So yeah, just on the counter, it's like a really cool counter is fine if you are using it every day. And if you purchase in the quantity, and then you can just put the portion in a separate container and keep it on the counter, and the rest in the fridge or freezer. That would be great. And when you take it out from the fridge, please leave it like half an hour or 1 hour on the in a room temperature before you open it, so that the powder and the leaves become room temperature.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a great question.
So what was the length of time though? You explained like how to
The
make
shelf
it the
life.
most.
Yeah, so
So
if you keep it that way, really minimize the air exposure and in a relatively cool temperature and no sun exposure at all. Actually, it lasts for a long time, like 3 to 6 months easy. And if you keep it in the fridge, you can keep it 8 months to 12 months. It's fine. But some of the stores, some of the website sells all the tea. And so yeah, please pay attention to that, Best Buy Day too. Yeah.
thank you. We're going to have another question here in a minute. Just notifying everybody it is a few minutes after already. So Mike, and then we'll take one more after that. Go ahead, Mike.
Can the powdered tea be mixed with cold water as well as hot, or what's the best way in preparing it?
Yeah, that's another good question. So the potency is catechins, antioxidants in the tea leaves. And that amount is same no matter what temperature the water is. And so that is the case. So it doesn't matter if you are craving for the nice and refreshing, chill green tea, please use cold water. That's fine. Yes. And if you want comfort from the warm cup of tea, please use warm water.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I think you noted, if I'm not mistaken, even when the tea is in hot water, it still retains 80% of its potency.
Yeah,
That's pretty high.
right, exactly. So if you are brewing the tea leaf, the temperature of the water affects the amount of the nutrients that come out into the tea water. So if you're using tea leaves, in order to get as much catechins as possible from the tea leaves, you need to use high temperature water and soak it for a long time. That's how you can get more catechins. However, when you make it that way, it's going to be really, really, really bitter, unfortunately. So you need to, take that tea leaves out at one point, but at that point you have to think about, it's drinkable, it's tasty. So that means, the bitter substance are in the tea leaves. So that's why, I really recommended the tea powder.
So you mean to tell me that all these years I've been squeezing my tea bags, it's been for nothing?
It's not for nothing. You definitely you are getting very precious antioxidants, very precious and powerful antioxidants. So it was great thing. And another thing you were doing is you were training your palate. Now you know that you are so familiar with the green tea taste. So you're not gonna get shocked when you drink the powder tea. Also, I don't know if the tea bag is, it opens, but for example, Dr. Greger uses the loose leaf tea, but after he drinks the tea, he put the tea leaves in a smoothie. and it mix it up, and then ingest everything.
All right. Any other last comments, questions? And I did not, I don't know where you sent the PBNSG 20% off. You said you were going to send it to me. I don't see it in the chat. Do you want to just put it in the chat, or did you email me, or
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
wherever you?
Yes,
Okay,
I will
it might be
try.
best if you just put that in there, since I don't see it here.
Just a
There you go.
second.
But that
Did
was
it go?
very informative.
Oh, I'm so glad. I am very so glad. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Let's see. So I'm gonna highlight, I'm gonna copy it, and whoops, what happened? Okay, I think it's gonna go. Here we go. Did you get it?
Yes, we did.
Great.
Yep, that must be it right there. Okay, so perfect. I'm just going to comment one more thing I didn't realize is that when the tea says organic on the label, if it's depends on the country you said. So as far as the quality of the soil and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
even organic tea is going to have some kind of even those chemicals for weeds, you know, that Roundup stuff and all that. It
Yeah,
has
so
a
organic.
smaller percent, I'm hoping,
Mhm.
but doesn't sound like your stuff has any of that.
Right, yeah.
Right.
We do test, and you know, it's the result shows up like not detected. So, it might, but the limitation, the detection limit is certain level. So it might be lower than that. But anyway, yeah, we do test every crop. And so this organic certification is very interesting. So organic certification looks through everything for chemical use, and we have to show the capability to be able to trace back to everything, all the ingredients, and the supply of the ingredients, the supply of the suppliers, something like that. So it's very, very, very strict, and we cannot use GMO material, so non-GMO. If you see certified organic, non-GMO for sure, that is a set. However, the certification of organic doesn't address heavy metals at all, and also radiation at all. So those two things, we do test separately.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna close out here by saying thank you, number one, for your time and attention, and a willingness to share this with the plant-based nutrition support group. What a wealth of knowledge and support that you give all of us live and on the recordings. And thank you for everybody that's attending live or even listening in as well to this community support group that happens the second Thursday of each month. I put in if you have any questions following this, you just can email people at PBN, Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group at connect@pbnsg.org. Anything else? Any final words? I want to say there's got to be some kind of words of wisdom from Japanese history or something that might want to share. I always have some kind of really cool saying, but I'm gonna let if there's an opportunity, now is a good time to share that, and we'll leave with that.
Oh, the saying I shared in a slideshow, good medicine tastes better. That's very, very stoic. But in our mind, it's actually opposite. If you beat yourself up, it actually beats yourself up. So if your thought is bitter, it's not gonna work for you.
But But is bitter tea then okay for you? That's the part, so that's a good
So
thing, right? So when
bitter
you-
tea means, you know, it could be just, you know, bad quality tea. But, you know,
Yeah, how do you
usually
know?
bad quality tea is, you know, doesn't taste anything. So if it tastes bitter, it could be really high in catechins. So yeah.
Right. That's what I was
Mhm.
thinking. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I will close this out to be timely and respect everybody's time and attention. There are some other activities going on for the rest of the week. Today is the 8th, so you got what you got now. The 12th is the plant-based cooking. That's the second Monday of the month. That's my thing. If you guys want to come. And then I think I forget what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do ranch dressing or something like that. The 12th, also same day is heart disease. And then on the 13th, on Tuesday, is the diabetes and also foods that fight pain. So, and there's a book club that's starting up too. So feel free to participate in all of that stuff. Okay. Thank you
Wonderful.
all. And I'll
Well,
close for
thank you
everybody.
again. Please
Thank
do
you.
You're
tea
welcome.
ritual and to your health. Yep. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that.
And
Take care.
thank you. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching and for being a part of the PBNSG community. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for even more plant-based insights, expert interviews, and delicious recipes.